Fiat 500 liters MPW review. The Fiat 500 liters MPW is quite possibly the longest Fiat can, quite literally, stretch the concept of the 500. The car, which is the smallest 5+2, ergo 7-seater, on the market is perhaps better thought of as a 5-seater with a huge boot. It retains the same wheelbase as the 500 liters, but length grows by 205 mm. But those seeking the cutesy looks of the common or garden 500 will be slightly disappointed. The MPW, which standards for multi-purpose wagon, looks ungainly from most angles. Nevertheless, the high roofline and big glasshouse makes for a spacious cabin. The model tested here is the largest of two engines. The 118 bhp 1.6-liter multijet, which by far develops the most torque, is joined by a 94 bhp 1.3 multijet, which is also available with Fiat's robotized manual box. On paper, the big diesel looks like the best all-round drive. Headline economy figures are around the class norm, with the 1.6-liter multijet capable of 112 grams/km and 67.3 miles per gallon, while the smaller 1.3-liter oil burner can manage 107 grams/km and 68.9 miles per gallon. While the purchase cost of this Popstar variant, the lower of two trims, puts it in direct competition with the far larger 7-seat Ford Grand Tourneo Connect. Moving on to trim levels, there are two to adorn your 500 liters MPW with, Popstar and Lounge. The entry-level trim, as worn by our test car, comes with 16-in alloy wheels, hill start assist, cruise control, rear parking sensors and front electric windows as standard, while inside there is air conditioning, a leather-clad steering wheel and Fiat's Uconnect infotainment system complete with a 5-in touchscreen display, DAB radio and Bluetooth. Upgrading to the range-topping lounge models adds automatic wipers and lights, electric sunroof, rear picnic tables and dual-zone climate control to help complete the mini MPW equipment list. The Fiat 500 liters MPW lacks the innovative storage spaces of the class best, but there's a stylish logic to the cabin. The middle row of seats fold and tumble in one movement and the jump seats in the boot fold out by pulling a simple strap. Once in place, the seats are really only suitable for kids. An adult could probably ride side saddle for a short journey. Better is headroom in the front and better still is legroom in the back. The cabin feels bigger than it really is, and its narrowness comes as a shock when looking across to the passenger side mirror. It is mounted far closer than you'd expect. It's possible to specify seats with 500 liters logos, and on a second or third glance, the 500's DNA is evident in the dashboard styling. Its chic pretensions are best illustrated by the options list, which includes Beats audio upgrades and a Lavazza coffee maker in the center console. Very zeitgeist. The 1.6-liter diesel offers adequate performance, but there's little joy in pushing past 3,000 revolutions per minute. Gentle progress is best. Press on and the engine makes itself heard, but at a more sedate pace refinement is perfectly acceptable. Although we only tested the car 2 up, it seems likely that with all seats occupied the engine may have its work cut out. The 6-speed manual is fairly slick, which is just as well as automatic transmissions are limited to 1.3-liter diesel variants only. Fiat has revised the suspension setup with, what it says to be, a focus on improving comfort for the third row of passengers. In the front and second row at least, the ride is smooth, although bigger bumps can intrude into the cabin and the 500 liters MPW can get caught off guard by bumps mid-corner. The steering is as precise as you'd expect, and there's a city mode which makes it easier to maneuver the car at low speeds. Fiat doesn't claim the 500 liters MPW is a 7-seater, and given the lack of space for the third row of occupants, its 5+2 tag is pushing things slightly. Nevertheless, the fact that this many seats can be installed in such a small car will be a tantalizing prospect for many. It becomes easier to justify by thinking of it as a pure 5-seater with a big boot.